Hey guys, what's up? Today I'll be answering your back to school related questions which you have submitted in my last two videos. Thank you for those of you who have participated in this Q&A. Hopefully I'll be able to satisfy you all with my answers. I'll start off with the personal questions first before moving on to the general ones. Effie Pryor asks, what do you major in? I was in a science major back in high school, and in college I majored in computer science. Many of you guys asked the same question, which is basically about my top favorite subjects. My favorite subject was physics and the other two was biology and PE. My least favorites were geography, home economics, and Indonesian language. I didn't dislike Indonesian language, it's just that I hated the teacher because she treated me like shit for no reason. Hannah Smith asks how to not stress about school too much, and Frida Purple asks, how did you manage all school stress? This is a very difficult question to answer. I think our stress in school is mostly caused by the immense amount of work that we get and the limited time we have to complete them all. I think you should find a way to manage your time and priorities so you won't be left with so many things to do at once without having any time left to relax. Try making a timetable and try cutting down the things that may cause you to postpone your work. When you actually write down the things that are keeping you from completing your responsibilities, it'll be easier for you to control yourself because you will at least be aware of how many useless things you do during your spare time, such as going through Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, etc. And hopefully you'll be able to limit the time you spend browsing through those things. Lucy Dragneel asks, how do you prepare for college? I don't know how it is in your country, but in my country, during my high school years, we only had to prepare for the entrance exams to the university that we wanted to attend. So most of us would attend cram school to prepare for that entrance exam. Our high school report cards were practically useless back then because of the loophole in our old education system. But luckily the system has changed this year, although I'm not really sure how it works now. Twyla McDonald asks, what tips would you recommend for someone who really doesn't like getting up for school? Well, I don't really think there's anyone who actually enjoys getting up for school. The only tip I can give you is to go to sleep early because it will be easier for you to wake up in the morning than if you go to sleep late at night. Also, I read from somewhere that screaming "yeah" on top of your lungs right after you wake up will immediately make you feel awake and refreshed. I haven't tried it out though because I wouldn't want to wake my family and my neighbors up by screaming out loud first thing in the morning. Vanessa Rodriguez asks, what are some essentials you need for school every year? I'm in the middle of filming a video about this, so be sure to look out for it, Vanessa. Alexa Nilo asks, how to have a great last year of middle school? Make sure you don't neglect your studies so you'll be able to graduate in peace. And make sure to spend a lot of time with your middle school friends because it'll probably be very difficult to gather with them once you all graduate. Helen Galliford asks, how do you balance your schoolwork with your other activities outside school easily? I love your videos, by the way. Why, thank you, Helen. Your question is kind of similar to Calvin's, which is, do you do your homework every single night? Do you get new homework every day? Because I do. Please answer random emojis. Yes, I did get homework every single day, but I didn't do it every night. My strategy was to do my homework either at school, cram school, or my English course class. In class, I would usually do it with my friends. We would sometimes make a study group with each person in charge of the subject that they were really good at. I was often in charge of physics and English because those two were my forte. And then we would do our homework together either during recess or during our self-study classes. That way, when we got home, we didn't have too much work left to do. Whenever I did my homework at cram school, I would ask my tutors there if there was any problem that I couldn't solve, and they were more than happy to help me out. In my English course class, since most of the students there were seniors, I would ask them to help me if there was any problem that I didn't understand. My main tip is, utilize the free time you have when you're not at home. That way, when you do get home, you will have free time to relax and do other things instead of doing homework. It was never easy to balance my activities, but good thing I wasn't obsessed with YouTube back then, or else it would have been even harder for me to sort out my priorities. Sakura Otaku asks, how do you keep concentrated in school with people chatting a lot? It's been bothering me a lot. Thank you, Rafi-senpai. You're welcome. Well, you can probably ask them nicely like, hello friend, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude, but can you please shut the f*** up? I'm trying to study here, you little Nah, I'm just kidding, please don't do that. On a serious note though, you can't really tell them to be quiet because they'll just get annoyed at you. The only thing you can do is try blocking the noises out as much as you can and focus your attention on the teacher instead. Don't forget to read your notes the night before you go to school so you will already understand what's being taught without having to pay too much attention in class. Holly Barber asks, any advice for getting through a boring day? Go watch my What to Do When You're Bored video, Holly. Miss Cotton Candy asks, I don't have any friends at school, so during my breaks I'm quite lonely. What can I do besides eating my lunch? What I like to do back when I didn't have any friend was that I would bring a book to school with me so I could just read it whenever I had nothing else to do. And I also like to write some fanfictions on my notebook, and that was actually the thing that made me gain new friends because fanfictions and books are such great conversation starters. Sapphire Phoenix asks, I love your videos, thanks, hello! Here's my question, how in the world do you always stick to your morning schedule? Every time I try to create a schedule, I just stop in about a week. If you find it difficult to stick to your morning schedule, then perhaps you could try preparing all the things you need in the morning the night before. Like preparing your shoes and socks in the doorway, preparing your books and stationeries in your backpack, hanging your uniform outside your wardrobe. Basically everything that you will need to use and bring to school the day afterwards, so you won't have much left to do in the morning. Noah Bakes DIY asks, how long is your school day? If I remember correctly, it was from 6:30 AM until 3 PM. Autumn Overton asks, a question I have for you is, how do you keep your notes or schoolwork all organized? Do you also have any must-haves for school? Love your videos, thanks! I keep my notes and schoolwork organized by having places to store my schoolwork like binders or folders and having different books for each subject. If you just use one notebook for all subjects and one folder or binder to store all of your schoolwork, it will be hard for you to find anything when you need them, and you won't be motivated to stay organized. Also, in my how to take notes video, I explained that I would usually take a very quick and messy notes at school, and then I would rewrite them when I got home, so my notes would stay organized. If I wrote everything at school, I doubt that my notes would be as organized because I would have to keep up with my teacher's writing speed and also explanation that I wouldn't be able to concentrate on making my notes tidy. As for my school must-haves, I will be making a separate video about them. John Long asks, how to beat procrastination and prioritize properly. First, you must understand what procrastination really is. One thing I know about procrastination is that it's not equal to being lazy. People use procrastination to escape from their responsibilities because of three main things, which are the fear of failure, the fear of being imperfect, and the fear of impossible expectations. So first of all, if you want to beat procrastination, you have to identify the reason why you procrastinate in the first place. Do you feel like you won't be able to do good enough, so you need more and more time to do things and eventually keep delaying your actions? Are you afraid of not meeting the expectations of your parents and your teachers? Do you base your self-worth on your work? Once you have found the reason behind your procrastinating habit, then we'll be able to work on a solution so you can start beating procrastination and start prioritizing properly. Procrastination is quite a complex subject, so I might make a separate video about this in the future because I won't be able to explain it thoroughly in this Q&A. Let me know if you guys would like to watch it. Siti Namira asks, when is your sleep time? How to manage your time? It depends. In high school during weekdays, I would usually sleep around 10 PM. But during weekend, I would sleep around 1 AM in the morning. I would usually write in a timetable to manage my time, so if you have something like this, then you should try using it because it will help you to manage your time. Grace D. Paul asks, how do you prepare for back to school? I didn't really have any special preparation for back to school. The only thing I prepared was my mentality because going back to school meant that I had to face some of the teachers that I hated the most, so I had to be mentally prepared for that. Neha Gupta asks, could you please make a video of what is in your pencil case? I'll be including it in my School Essentials video, which will be my next video, so be sure to look out for that. Zebra Productions asks, how do you make school go by faster? Time tends to go by faster when you're having fun, so be sure to have lots of fun at school. Don't stress about the lessons too much and have fun with your friends, then school will probably be over before you know it. Randy asks, why do you need to get up 2 hours earlier to prepare for school? It takes me 20 minutes to do everything. Hair, bento, clothes, backpack. That's a good question, Rand. It was actually because I didn't appreciate my natural curly hair back then, so I would always straighten it every morning before going to school, and that took a lot of my time. It was completely ridiculous now that I think about it. I didn't include it in my school morning routine video because I didn't want to use heat on my entire hair there. Don't worry though, it all changed once I got to college because I never used heat on my hair again aside from my fringe. Susan Rose asks, how long is your school day? That one has already been answered. What is school like where you live? I don't know where you live. I live in Indonesia and my school was meh. I'm so jealous of the schools abroad because you guys have lockers and such wonderful facilities. Our school was nowhere near that. The desks and chairs were poorly made. The walls were plastered with those handprints that you usually see in horror movies. and many of the teachers couldn't even teach properly. Maybe it's because I went to a public high school. It's probably better in a private school. That's why I entered a private university once I graduated high school, because I really didn't want to attend another public one. As for the class system, we don't move from class to class, and that's a good thing because then we could just sit on our lazy asses all day. Angie Mauli Diane, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name, asks, do you have any unforgettable or unique memory, whether it's good or bad, about school? If you do, can you please tell us your story? The most unforgettable memory was when I broke into a classroom with my friend in the middle of the night. We left our school things there and the janitor had already locked the door and had gone home, so we had no other choice but to break in through the window. Good thing we didn't get caught. Bubble Eyes asks, I really tried to learn how to like math, but I just simply take a lot of time in solving the questions. It's just so frustrating. And the strangest thing is that I'm really good at science. Can you give any tips or advice? I think in order to like a subject, you have to be good at it. And in order to be good at maths, you have to do a lot of practice. As we all know, maths is not something that we can excel at by just memorizing the formula. We have to keep doing the exercises in the book if you want to be good at it. So try doing the exercise provided in your textbook. Hopefully you will learn to love maths once you have finished solving all of those complex cases and questions in your textbook. Chika-chan or Chika-ring asks, what should I bring for the first day of school? And thanks for the bit. Aside from the obvious ones like your notebooks, textbooks, and stationaries, don't forget to bring your lunch and water bottle in case the cafeteria is packed. Oh yeah, and don't bring every book that you own inside your backpack because chances are you're not going to be using all of them on your first day of school. And besides that, you will probably look silly like a hiker with that humongous backpack on your back. Neha Gupta asks again, my backpack is usually very heavy, so can you give some tips to deal with it? Try carrying some books in your arms so there wouldn't be too much weight on your back. So those were all my answers to your questions. I hope you found them useful to you. I'm sorry if you didn't find them satisfying enough because I could only answer based on my experience and based on what I know. And sorry if your questions didn't get featured here, but fret not because there is always next time. Either way, I still hope you enjoyed watching this video. So that's all from me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you for those of you who have subscribed to me. If you haven't, then please be sure to click on the shiny subscribe button below. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends if you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you on my next one. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye!